Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Watch?
First watch. Everyone's always told me to watch it since high school because I'm such a Halloween fan. They're like, if you love Halloween, you'll love it. It's because it follows like similar tropes, I guess. It's supposed to be a copy, but it's not because it's its own unique thing. Plus, it's Canadian.
Yeah. Prom Night, I feel like, is more in line with My Bloody Valentine, but it came first.
There.
Prom Night?
Yeah, it's 1980.
Yeah, Prom Night Prom Night was 80. My Bloody Valentine was 81.
Okay, fair. And they had it under the tax thing, so they didn't get taxed on it.
Yeah, it was a Toronto production. Yeah, I'm starting to learn a lot about tax fraud from this podcast. Really going to get good at it soon.
But I hope so. Then you can teach me.
Now I know why they're shitting on Canada all the time. But it feels like Prom Night was sort of riding the Carrie vibe too a bit. Like they were trying to capture a little bit of that momentum. Not necessarily sure that was the intention when they wrote it, but definitely has that sort of vibe to it with the bullying and things like that in the beginning. But yeah, that's what we're doing. This is like one of our first lead-ins where we're actually talking about the movie for the episode, which is Prom Night 1980. Welcome to Xenomania, everybody.
Originally, we were going to talk about Tom Arnold.
Yeah, and his presence in the movie True Lies, but that would be 45 minutes of nonsense. We're going to probably stay more on script.
As opposed to the other 45 minutes of nonsense that's coming up.
Yeah, we hope you enjoy your commute. Drive safely, everybody, if you're listening to us on the way to work. But
especially on the Taconic. Just say it.
He's doxing himself again. This man lives nowhere near us.
Nope.
He's in a different county.
No.
Yeah.
I'm in the woods.
Yeah. Well, I am too, but we like it here in the woods.
We do. It's like 825 Forest Lane.
Oh.
Road.
You know how many times I had to fix that and then when I was posting the episode? How many times I typed out Forest Lane instead of road? And the reason why, everybody, is because of Cloverfield. What is it, 10 Cloverfield Lane? I can't even remember the number.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
There it is.
John Goodman.
Look at that. Look at how good I am. John Goodman, Tom Arnold, Roseanne. There's a connection. All right, back to. Let's go with the cast of Prom Night. So Prom Night was directed by
Paul Lynch.
And it was written by
William Gray.
Nice. That was quick. Great cast of people I don't know, and Jamie Lee Curtis and Liam Neeson. I did it again. We have to cut that. I'm not gonna let that stand. Leslie Nielsen. But who else is in it that's notable from other movies? Because you guys would know that.
I mean, not really for me. I mean,
no, it makes me happier that I couldn't pick anybody out because usually I feel like a dum-dum when you guys are like, well, in Beastmaster 5.
Well, the wife, Antoinette Bauer, she was familiar because, like, when you see her, she's, of course, aged as 1980, but she was in Alfred Hitchcock Presents, episode of Star Trek, episode of one of my favorite series from the 60s, The Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West.
And, of course, The Twilight Zone.
Yeah, Twilight Zone has some bangers.
Oh, God, yes.
Patreon.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt.
All those goodies.
When that Patreon
Tales from
drops,
the Dark Side.
Yeah,
Tales from the Dark Side. The Friday the 13th series. Freddy's Nightmares.
Yes, that's got one of my favorite episodes.
Monsters. I was just seeing a thing on Instagram about a show called Monsters that I vaguely remembered. And that was co-written by the guy, or that was written by the guy who did Tales from the Dark Side, I believe.
It triggered a memory.
I see it didn't trigger
memory.
any memory in me. It might be that little bit of age difference in there that just didn't register with me.
Monsters?
Yeah.
Oh, it was you guys that shared it. It wasn't random. It was that.
No, it was shared through. Yeah.
It was the group chat.
Yeah. Our group.
My brain is mashed noodles at this point, so I'm just like going through, and I don't remember where things come from anymore. But yeah, Monsters was cool. I do remember it. Well, at the beginning, it reminded me of dinosaurs because of the way the camera angles worked and stuff.
Yeah.
and that
yeah.
time period
yeah.
with the special effects. But anyway, back
Where
to
was Sinclair?
he's dead. He's dead. The Chicxulub impact took care of Sinclair. So not the mama. So prom night, everybody. So prom night, we get an archetypical, that's a word, slasher movie, and it is pretty much a blueprint slasher film, right? I'm not going off base by saying that.
No, very blueprint.
Yeah, and I like how it starts with 4 kids murdering another kid. It's always quality time. Is murder?
I mean, I think they would have gotten like criminally negligent homicide.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
cover up
They
that's
definitely
damning.
did. Yeah, they wouldn't have been in any trouble for her death.
Yeah, but it's like, no, we have to chop her up into little pieces and hide her, or we'll get yelled at by Dad. Which is
Yeah.
not what happened, by the way. They just
And
hit
and
it
and
that
then
they're
we'll look
involved.
into the local creepy guy being in the area and being the perfect fall guy for it.
The red herring stuff was annoying because we knew who the murderer was in the first 15 minutes of this movie. I did. Anyway,
I
I don't trust anybody with that.
I thought it
broccoli
was. I thought it was Leslie Nielsen.
top. Oh, really? So it had you. They had you guessing.
Yep,
I would have
I thought
enjoyed
it was
it more
either
if I
Leslie
was
Nielsen
guessing.
Mhm.
or the mother.
Like figuring out. You said Leslie Nielsen, and
Yeah, I thought Leslie Nielsen was the killer.
yeah, it would have been funny if they
Like-
revealed that he was actually Lieutenant Frank Drummond. Is that his name? And Naked Gun
Da-da-da.
pulled him in.
Listen, Frank Drebin is a better cop than the cop in the movie.
Oh, 100%. You found the Undertaker.
We'll get
Come on,
to
now.
him. We'll get to his ineptitude.
The cop in the spoof movie, scary movie that makes fun of Scream, the one who has sex with a vacuum, he's a better cop than the cop in this movie.
Doofy?
Yeah, Doofy.
He-
Oh man, but this is a good hang. This film. So we started with the beginning, and then we get sort of a flash forward, right?
Yeah, so we start
Yes.
with a group of kids playing a version of hide and seek, which is essentially hide from the killer kind of thing. That goes awry when Robin Hammond stumbles into the game, and they sort of keep backing her and backing her up, killer, 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 until she keeps backing up through a window and falls to her death.
It's stuck.
I felt that scene. I
Yeah.
felt bad for her.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
That
Yeah,
I conjured
she didn't deserve
memories of
that.
doing stupid stuff as kids, being party to and being victim of. Like that was all
yeah.
that all came to the forefront. 8-year-old shenanigan style stuff. Because nobody watched us, dear listeners. If
You
you're under
said
the
the
age
word.
of 30, shenanigans, the tomfoolery
Ooh.
that was around. What's that place? What's that place with all the tables with all the goopy shit on top? Right?
Shenanigans?
Cool. Pistol whip 'em.
Here's my.
But yeah,
Um,
it's definitely a 1980s movie. That was the level of parental supervision that kids that age received in the 80s, for sure.
I can 100% attest to that.
Yeah, the late 70s as well, because really this is a late 70s movie.
You aren't
Yeah,
in the
it came
house?
out-
Perfect.
Yeah,
It was made in 79, so it makes sense.
any movie
But
that
also,
came
let
out
me
before
ask-
83 is a 70s movie. Same thing with 93.
I'll
and so
take it.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. But did you find it weird that it took, it was 6 years and they were, almost grown adults? They went from children to, seniors,
Yeah, I
flash.
definitely have that. I definitely have that note. How did it? That is
Here's
some
kids who were too
serious
little.
aging. They say, yeah,
It's
you,
the growth
either they're
hormones in the
12
milk.
years old. They're 12 years old playing that game, which
Mm.
sort of changes the whole context of it, and it's a little more malicious that they back her out the window.
Yeah,
Or we're just loose and fast with ages in this movie,
I
and
think that's probably the case.
nothing really matters.
Kids do shoot up at that age range, but it's too jarring in this movie. They went a little too fast, yeah.
Yeah.
To fully, yeah, because they're also the actors playing the high schoolers are a little older as well. So you get the
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
90210 effect where Dylan's like a 32-year-old. And
I'm
whatnot.
watching.
Um,
I'll admit, I'm watching the first season. We took a break. I'm watching it with Jada. Jada's rewatching it, and
90210.
I'm watching it. Yeah, for the
Oh,
first time for
opening
me.
yourself up for a
And
lot of ridicule, Ryan.
I'm just saying that you
You
can notice
you won't
that
get
they're
that
old.
ridicule from me.
Now the fans are coming for you.
Eh,
I'm on Team Brandon,
it's not
You won't
bad.
be.
but I'm not rewatching the series.
I'm not rewatching it, but I definitely watched way more of it than I'm comfortable admitting to.
We didn't watch Melrose Place though. We didn't watch that.
No,
No, 90210 was
No.
acceptable. It was
No.
like Saved by the Bell heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Like,
allowed back
minus
then.
the college years.
Yeah, fair. That's like the last episode or last season of Scrubs isn't really a thing either. Doesn't count. But
No.
no, when they do the residency stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah,
It was all a dream.
Oh, Dallas. Good old Dallas.
you're going back to
It was
Dallas.
just a dream. It was just a dream.
Oh, I thought you meant the show.
in the
Dallas.
shower.
All right, we're really in the weeds right now.
Uh.
So they're in high school. You get the layout, and it prom's coming up because that's a thing. The prom is coming up.
The prom.
Yeah, that's a trigger
The
for
prom.
John. It's a big trigger for
That
John.
is a big trigger. If you say I'm going to prom instead of I'm going to the prom, I don't like you. I don't like you.
I feel like when you
It's a
refer to it
thing
as a
with
noun,
not
like
front of it.
as the event, and you just say prom, it's more acceptable than when you're just talking about. Well, I guess it's a noun then too. When you're saying I'm going to the prom, but
Yeah.
He questioned me earlier about it. He's like, "How do you say this?" And I was like, "It's the prom. It's not
No,
prom."
absolutely.
I was scared
questioned both of
answering
you
it.
because I was ready to quit.
I was ready to quit. Listen, we listened to that potty training bullshit in the last episode for like 45 minutes. You could deal with prom. You could deal without the definite article.
That was it. That was a couple episodes ago. And I have a few more potty training videos lined up for some of our heavier subjects.
Sweet.
Oh God.
Yeah, this one doesn't count as a heavier video. This is a pretty straight
No,
slasher. It's
this-
not too gory.
Yeah, this.
Yep.
There's some gore. There's some good special effects too. I did enjoy some of the special effects, but it's like it's not gratuitous in any way. And
Lynch didn't want it.
which is fine. I think he
He
wanted to
didn't
go for
want
some more psychological edge, which is cool.
Mhm.
I mean, Halloween came out before this as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
78.
Yeah. So Halloween, the original Halloween is very psychological. All of the long camera shots, Michael Myers stalking, seeing him like poke out of the bushes and stuff. That's what makes that movie memorable to me. So I think he was trying to go for that again, but this is not Halloween. That's the other problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The killer looks like a member of the Foot from Ninja Turtles. I mean,
Go Ninja. Go Ninja.
yeah,
Go.
he does though. The outfit is a ski mask, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's it. It was like a cheap knockoff of the Prowler.
Yeah, like he's got a shiesty on, and
Which
he's
was
coming
a-
for you.
Like,
Which was kind of a cheap knockoff in itself.
It's
fair.
lame.
Fair on that.
Every
They're all knockoffs.
every bad guy in a cop movie in that era was wearing the exact same ski mask when they were like robbing a bank or taking a woman's bag. So that was kind of silly.
Yeah.
That was a bad move.
It worked though. Like he's like a high school. We mentioned the hair and stuff. Oh, spoiler.
Spoilers, warnings now. Okay. If you haven't seen Prom Night yet,
Spoilers.
go watch it on the TV.
Yeah. I mean,
It's on Chiller, I think.
if you
It's on Amazon.
we're talking 45 years. If you haven't seen Prom Night, pause it. We're gonna spoil it. Like
We spoil everything. That's what we do.
we spoil everything,
Oh,
but
yeah.
this is 45 years.
Except
We-
for your good
go on.
time. We don't spoil that. We don't spoil that.
no,
Yeah. No.
we are all
No.
about your good time.
Yours is a little bit more menacing than mine. I
Always.
feel like mine was a little bit more like down home country, maybe. Yours felt like
I'm just
it's
smiling in
implied
the corner.
violence.
Yeah, I think there might be.
Okay.
There's two sides of this podcast.
Who's the first person to die in this movie?
Robin Hammond.
Robin
yeah.
Hammond goes down first. And how did we
Yeah,
like that
He goes
kill?
right out that window.
Yeah, good point. Who's the second person to die
Nice.
by the killer?
Kelly.
Oh,
Kelly goes down.
Yeah.
Kelly's the
Kelly.
first one. She gets her throat slit with a mirror shard.
And that was
'cause they
after the
go into
locker
the
room
bathroom.
scene. Yeah, you
Yeah.
love a
Yep,
good
and
locker room
and you
scene
see,
in the 80s.
when I saw that, I was like, "Here we go. All right. Is this Revenge of the Nerds? Is this Porky's?" Nope, it was tame.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, and I'm
one
fine
of
with
the more
that.
tame locker
When
room
they're doing
scenes.
like high school girl stuff, then they get all into the. I mean, if it's Porky's, it's Porky's. That's the theme of the movie. But when they do that for horror
We
movies,
also
we don't
saw
need it.
that young too. So it was
Fair.
like, yeah, like we were like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, anything went
And now it's
at
like,
that age.
"Oh
But
God, yes."
but now that we're old men, it's like okay, fine.
Right.
But so then they hear the glass break, and then there's a shard of glass missing.
That was cool.
And then they cut
Nice
to the
foreshadowing.
red herring, right? Don't they come out of the bathroom and who's there but Creeper?
Yeah,
Custodian.
Sykes, the custodian.
Like, hello,
Who-
girls.
Listen, there's no way that guy checked out on a background check, right?
No.
He's
Mr. Hammond
drinking.
says that Mr. Hammond says he checks out. There's no way that guy checks out, right?
It's
Well,
Frank
like,
Drebin.
it's just-
Come on, he's not
It's
checking anyone
1980,
out.
man.
It's it's
It's
just
a
a
different
it's
set
just a
of
question of
standards.
it's 1980 and you can't check him out as
Yeah,
thoroughly.
Exactly.
He just moved from like 3 towns over.
All you have to do is print something out of the library. Yeah, drive in from Utah, print something out of the library, and you have a whole new identity. People used to do it all the time. Had like 4 families.
Mhm.
Man, it's true though.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
That's the bad
It
part.
was a simpler time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Simpler
I
time.
wish we can go back.
You could go out for a pack of cigarettes and never be found.
Oh, you're bringing back
Oh,
memories.
Not that joke.
How
Don't
I
do that
long
joke.
for those days.
Oh, cigarettes or leaving?
Being left.
Yes.
I think is the one I'm thinking of in particular.
Yes.
Any minute now. They must not have had Lucky Strikes at the corner deli. It got darker than horror movie on that one.
It did.
It did.
It did.
It's good old fun
I,
trauma.
I mean, you had
What's up?
whole songs about dad walking out and never coming back.
Yeah, not
There's a
just country
faster
either.
Pussycat song. There's a faster Pussycat song that's just I'm sitting on the doorstep waiting for dad to come home and he's never coming home
God.
Oh,
brutal.
That
because
It's
there
like-
was no one home in that house of pain.
Yeah. Yeah. This has nothing to do with the film, by the way.
Not
Just
at
so
all.
you
No.
guys are aware.
no.
Not
We're
at
just
all.
talking about
No.
how easy it would be for
No.
Sykes to be a child molester and hide it.
Sykes was definitely a child molester. He's just not who they're looking for.
Yeah, he's a different
No.
animal in the wrong fish tank. But so
Mhm.
Sykes is sort of cast into like the suspicion orb. There's a few characters they try to make us think are the killer as the movie goes on. And the movie continues to track, and the kids that were involved in the death of what was her name again?
Robin.
Robin Hammond.
Robin Hammond.
She the kids who were involved in it, kind of are gaggled together as friends in high school getting ready for the prom, and there's some sexy stuff going on. I think that's more in the prom night of it itself.
Yeah.
Talking about Slick with his van.
Yeah, I want to talk about Slick with his van because that's my favorite scene in the movie.
Slick is
I-
my favorite
is-
character in the movie.
Yeah,
Slick is by
Slick.
far my favorite character. He deserves so much better than he gets from this movie.
Yeah, I
Yes, he
agree.
does.
I agree.
First off, when you first meet Slick, can you possibly believe that Slick is a legitimate nickname for this guy?
I mean, it was 1980.
Oh God, no. It could
Oh
work.
yeah, but you
His
mean
name
for
is-
him in particular because he was like,
Yeah,
no, he's not a slick
he
looking guy.
certainly initially comes across as not
You know what
slick at
though?
all.
What Slick got laid twice in
That
this
van.
film.
Yeah, it's the
He did.
van.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And the
How-
weed.
How 40 years changes your perception of a van?
Oh, the van was ultimate freedom in a
Is it-
mobile bedroom back then.
Yeah, but a guy driving that van now is as creepy as Sykes was then.
Fair.
Yeah.
If it don't have words on
Yeah,
the
it's
side of
true.
it, you got a problem. If you're driving a van. If you're driving a van.
But this is sporty. He could
yeah.
have
And I
passed. It could have passed.
And I mean, he introduces himself, and his real name is about as lame as you can get, right? Seymour Crane.
That's why I went by Slick.
Yeah.
That's why I went for it.
Slickster.
I can't imagine going through life with the name Seymour.
That's a tricky one.
That's-
The only Seymour I remember, so that like Philip Seymour Hoffman, obviously, but the dog in
Yes.
Futurama.
Skinner.
Oh yeah, Skinner
I-
too.
Man, the fact that I
Seymour
forgot that
Skinner.
Seymour Skinner was a thing actually upsets me because that's part of my DNA.
The only reason it's been on my mind since I was called Super Nintendo Chalmers this week. All right.
That was the best insult I ever heard in my life. It wasn't even an insult. It was like a
Right.
manic,
No,
a
it completely
manic
was.
toss out, and it was so good.
I wish there was more people out there for it though. It was like so early in the morning.
There was 4 of us who heard it, and my whole week was made better because of it. It was such a good line. So for those of you who
Yeah,
don't
that was
know,
good.
Ryan was dressed up nice at work, and he looked like the big cheese. And one of the other employees where we work, they were lobbing lines back and forth about something, and then finally his sign off was "Okay, Super Nintendo Chalmers," and he walked back inside.
Across the parking lot.
Yeah, he hollered that one out. That was good. It's a good thing we don't work in a
That was-
place that is at all serious, like ever.
No,
But
not at all.
so
Not at
speaking
all.
of high school drama, so the people start dying in the film, and we
Yep.
bring in
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen, who's very serious in this film, and I have reservations about Leslie Nielsen playing serious roles. I think that he belongs in comedic roles only, and that's that.
Well, I mean, you'll feel pretty good knowing that this was about the end of his dramatic career. There are a couple sprinkled in after, but from that, the transition had started because
Yeah.
Airplane had already come out.
And it's funny because
Yep.
it seems like they chose him for dry comedy in Airplane, which really does hit, but he doesn't use dry comedy in the rest of his comedic career. It's slapsticky more.
No.
Well, I don't know if
yeah.
that counts as slapsticky, but you know what I mean. That brand
Mhm.
is hilarious.
It's
But in the middle of all that too, he sort of transitions into like kids movies too and cartoons and stuff.
The iconic
Mr.
voice.
Magoo.
Yep, Mr. Magoo, and there's a whole bunch of like kids movies mixed in there too.
Yeah.
Some sled dog thing. There's an animated series called Pumper Pups.
Pumper Pups.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Is a felony
See,
in
I remember
49 states.
Interesting.
he was wrongfully accused.
But I'm waiting for John to yell at
wrong?
me because when I mentioned this earlier before we were recording,
Uh-huh.
John was like, "Shut your filthy mouth." He's great in different.
Dramatic Leslie Nielsen is amazing. Poseidon Adventure.
Mhm.
Ryan, you mentioned Forbidden Planet.
Yep.
A whole bunch of TV stuff. He was an awesome serious actor too.
Yeah. I was just too young. Too young. Although Ryan's younger than me and he saw Forbidden Planet, so what am I gonna
My
do?
uncles. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And you
Mhm.
know, it's just you get introduced to him in like, let's say I got introduced to him in Spy Hard, and then you see him in Forbidden Planet. It's like a
Forgot about
whole
Spy Hard.
turn.
Spy Hard was funny.
Oh
Mhm.
God.
Yeah, I
Wrongfully
think
accused, like all those.
I think I got Airplane first, and then Poseidon Adventure.
Oh wow, that's a good one too. That brings you back too. You had to
That's
go
a good
back.
one.
Mine was Naked Gun. That was my first Leslie Nielsen.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, he doesn't disappoint in this movie or anything. It's just you see him and you get excited. You're like, ooh, funny man.
Oh, it's about to get funny.
And it
Yep.
doesn't.
Oh no, it's not.
Doesn't get funny
We're
at all.
about to have a whole scene of Mrs. Hammond crying and Leslie Nielsen trying to console her because 6 years has done nothing for that family.
Yeah.
It would have worked if he had like a voiceover like Frank Drebin
Yeah.
during that scene.
That would have been cool.
10 times better.
That would have been
I
cool.
don't know why she's crying. I really wanted a ham sandwich.
Sometimes these broads get a little mouthy and you start shaking her or something. No, it was 1980, not 1950. But
I mean, listen, there's a whole scene in Airplane.
yeah, true.
Oh yeah.
Smack the hysterical lady.
That is
Hold
true.
yourself together.
So he plays the detective trying to figure out who's killing off these kids. How many kids die before prom night?
Leslie Nielsen is the principal.
Oh yeah. Not the
And the
detective,
father
the principal.
of
And the father, Mr. Hammond, and the principal,
Yeah.
which is very interesting when he has to discipline his son.
yeah, he really doesn't.
Well, that's
He's like,
probably
No,
part
he
of the
like-
you are
problem.
wrong.
It's part of the
He
problem.
indefinitely suspends the one guy, Lou,
Lou.
and then for a
Unibrow
fight,
Lou.
and his son gets nothing. And he admits it too. Like he just says to Lou, "Yeah, this is preferential treatment."
Mm-hmm.
He does, and it's like, you son of a bitch. But did you see Lou's unibrow? I'm sorry, just
Lou had a lot going on, man. I didn't get to
Oh.
the unibrow. I couldn't get past like the way his mouth sort of sits, like this sort of like permanent, like open mouth, like sneer. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, one of those.
yeah.
One of those. Food's dropping out of it, but you didn't see him eating anything.
Mhm.
One of those guys.
We don't know what dropped out.
Casting a lot of doubt. It's scary. So yeah, principal, not detective. I was in Naked Gun mode again. But yeah, so they end the father of the deceased child. And then there's Kim, who's, not an important character at all. Wait, no, yes, she is. She's the main character, right? And
Yeah.
she's running through the film just with her plot armor, having a grand old time. But how many kids die before prom? We have one.
None.
No, the mirror
besides
one is
the-
before
No.
prom, isn't it?
The mirror one is before prom.
Yeah, but that's the
But
only
Alright,
one.
so
I think
two.
that's the only one.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
they don't
The
all
pacing's
happen
off.
at the prom,
Yeah, pace is way off.
but they all happen during the prom.
I was teeing you up for that one. Right.
Yeah.
I was teeing you up for that one. So the pacing in this movie is a point of contention between
Yeah.
us and apparently some others out there. Slow burn doesn't even count. It's not a slow
No.
burn.
No, it's just like, I had this issue. I wrote a screenplay in a similar vein where it was like, you open up with all this horror and you grab the audience's attention, and then you try to do character building. And it works if you're doing a drama or something, but this is a horror. You need to have horror interlope through everything, deaths or something to get the audience scared.
Yeah.
And it just really builds up. And it's fine,
Mhm.
but it doesn't do anything like that. And I mean, like, for horror, like, you get to the end, it's 30 minutes of horror, but it's too fast paced.
At that point, it's
Like,
just bodies
bam,
bam,
piling up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
It's
would
just
I
too
would
much.
agree with that. The only real attempt between Robin dying and the prom to make anything scary is the phone calls.
Oh, yeah, good
Yes.
point.
Because
The
the
wannabe
kids that were
Black
involved in
Christmas
the hide and
calls.
seek, the kids that were involved in the hide and seek game start getting phone calls from a mystery person, with vague threats, but they really don't play that out very far. It's just, oh, here's the calls and then we're done.
Yeah, like, well, that was weird, kind of thing, and they move
Yeah.
on with the story.
And
But
keep
they
in
don't
mind,
answer the phone.
1980. There's no tracing of these calls. I guess actually we're kind of
Mhm.
back there with spoof numbers and burner apps and stuff. You can do that again.
Yeah.
But back then, like,
Yeah.
you couldn't really catch them.
No.
Not without a
No,
whole
it
was like-
setup.
Yeah.
Was there caller ID? I'm just like, because
80s was analog wire and a dream. You had to know that number or have it written down, baby. It was just
Mhm.
like a wired phone into the wall.
Caller ID, I feel like wasn't
Like-
even until like the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or
like,
at least
like
at
mid,
least
mid,
then it was
right?
widespread.
And even
yeah.
before that, Star
It may have
69 and
existed
stuff was
before
that. Before
but
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember the little gadget over the phone, at like the little
like-
phone hanging in the kitchen.
Yeah, the
The
gadget.
Jerky Boys were like 89, 90, 91. And like that's a whole industry that couldn't exist anymore. That prank phone call thing.
There's
I miss the
oh,
Jerky Boys.
there's the
I
dude
hear
who
the
does
YouTube
the
videos.
there's the dude who does the are there girls there when he calls the same pizza place and he's like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
the sausage on it, are there girls there? But he says it in the same way and the guys flip out because he leads them so well before slipping into it and they get so mad. They're like, we got the cops coming for you. He's just like, girls there. You got to find him. That guy's stuff is funny.
but yeah, but skip the movie. You do not need the Jerky Boys movie.
No, the Jerky
Nobody
Boys
needed
movie
the
did not.
Jerky Boys movie.
It's like Weird Al's
He-
movies.
I mean, it
The-
kind of
the-
killed the whole thing, right? Like there
Yeah.
were no more Jerky Boys tapes after the movie.
Yeah,
No.
they went for a big shot and then it came up flat. In Prom Night, yeah, they're right. The phone calls, that's like it. They just sort of they take too much time. And Ryan's right. With horror, you don't need character building like that. In some aspects, maybe like we were talking about Halloween before, when you're gonna have a franchise that's 5 movies long and things like that, but you're building that over 5 movies. In horror, you need archetypes. And once you establish those archetypes, then you can get into it a little bit better, depending on if we're in
Yep.
psychological horror.
I would push back to some extent that you can take the time for the character development, but there has to be something frightening going on around it.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
in the original Halloween, you have that big gap of nothing happening, but you have Jamie Lee Curtis seeing Michael Myers in places, and you have those little moments where there's still something
Yeah.
scary going on.
That's a good point to
Yes.
bring up that, like, I mean, just
You-
like the exposition block that they put
Yeah.
in this movie, right? Whereas
Yeah.
Halloween, when we
You-
talked about, there's the peekaboo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you start Prom Night at a high, and then it just drags for a good 40 minutes of,
Yes.
here's these characters, here's this drama between Kim and Wendy and the boy, we both like the same boy. He's breaking up with Wendy to be with Kim, and Wendy won't let him break up, and then she's threatening Kim. It's like this whole thing that you don't fully need.
Yeah.
No, they could have put a death in between that to spice it up.
Yeah, easily. Written in a
Like-
character just to
Mhm.
die would have been fine. And even then,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it'd be too much. Cut out 10 more minutes and do that as well,
Yeah.
and then you've got a better pace. As
Oh yeah.
because like Ryan said, there's a blitzkrieg of deaths that come
Mhm.
towards the end, and it feels very rushed at that point. You don't really get to savor it.
Yeah.
No. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. It misses that. And John's mentioned this, and I agree with him. It's overrated. The
Prom
horror
Night
film
is?
is overrated.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a cult classic because of it. It's big in the fact of like it's part of the foundation of the slasher genre. And that's important. That's
Sure.
why it's important. And I was gonna say before, like a
Yeah.
lot of movies came out in the '90s and early 2000s that I liked a bit, but then they copied and pasted them. And Prom Night's the archetype for like I Know What You Did Last Summer, and those
yeah.
movies where the revenge slashers coming for you because you fucked up sort of thing. And that's
Yeah.
cool. And that's definitely Prom Night.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
also Bloody Valentine.
Definitely. And I,
Yeah.
without seeing it yet because it's not out yet, and it's part of the reason we're doing this now, aside from it being prom season, May 23rd, Netflix drops Fear Street Prom Queen.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
And
I'm curious. I want to see it.
without seeing that, you can kind of figure it's gonna go sort of along that same line.
Yeah. Now we
Yeah.
now we have
The
to watch
trailer. The trailer's
I
very
mean-
similar,
It's definitely getting bumped down the schedule.
it. Yeah. We gotta watch it now.
and it's rated R. The other 3 were, I think, TV-14, and this one's R. So I'm curious.
I don't remember.
this-
What the other.
Fear Street
If
is
the other
R.L.
three were-
Stein, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
it is.
This will be interesting.
If the other 3 were TV-14, they snuck that through.
I
'Cause
mean,
they definitely had
scary,
the gore for an R.
scary stories to tell in the dark did the same thing, where the
Mhm.
gore level it pushed it, and it shouldn't have been a PG-13 film.
No, it's scary. There's
Yeah.
stuff in there I wouldn't
Oh,
want
yeah.
a 13-year-old to watch. Well, parental guidance, 13.
I mean, we
and up.
read it. We read it, and we're fine.
Yeah, but I mean,
Nice,
I'm
right.
thinking of a couple scenes in particular from watching the movie. Those books used to scare the shit out of me when we would read them at sleepovers and stuff. God, those were good times. Like the spiders popping out of the boil on the girl's face and stuff. The ones that were
That's
lame,
the
like the
freakiest one
ribbon,
for me.
where he takes the ribbon off the girlfriend's neck and her head falls off and things like that. Those were like, okay, they're not that scary.
Yeah.
There were some spooky ones. The Where's My Toe?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Where's my toes?
And the soup,
Yeah, the soup. There's some good stuff there.
the being.
All right.
It's in the movie, but the one where the being sucks you in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's like a succubus type of deal, but it sucks you in through their body. It's like a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
That always creeped me out as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, it's some of the best artwork, and you couldn't find better in the Scholastic Book Fair. I'll tell you that much. They're not there
Nope.
anymore either.
God, no.
Not these soft
Nope,
kids
nope.
today. You know what they need? They
R.I.P.
need a good
Scholastic.
helping of hose spigot water, hot summer days, and books like that read in a tent.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they need.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be good for them.
Yeah,
Get out there and do it.
Make them watch Prom Night. Get out there and do it. Make it happen, Kearns. I wish I
Make it
could.
happen.
Oh man. But yeah, so the Prom Night does hit, and the killer starts a killing, and we get some good stuff.
Yeah.
The next one to drop is, which one's the next one to go?
Well, after we get Kelly, we got Jude, Slick, and then we have Wendy.
So Jude and
She
Slick
gets
are
hacked by an
kind of
axe.
a package deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
And
all
that's
right,
a
let's
cool
get into
chase
that
scene,
because
by
that's
the
a good
way.
one. Yeah, so that's probably one of my more favorite scenes in the whole movie. So Slick gets slayed. Slick and Jude lose their virginity to each other, so you're like, oh, they're gonna die. And then they're laying around and they're like, yeah, let's do it again by the cliffs near the whatever. So they do it again, and they're in
Mhm.
mid coitus. And what is it? A knock or no? He just opens the door right to the van
Yeah.
and
He
just
did.
starts getting
Hey
her.
guys.
Yeah, and just go.
Yeah.
And that's a terrible way to go. So he kills her, and then Slick like punches him. Slick's like
He
got a
does. He
big
knocks
fat
him out.
punch, like, "Ugh." And then he tries to hit him with the van, which is pretty amazing. I mean, Slick gets after it. Slick's a hero.
Mhm.
Yeah, he does.
Slick puts up a fight.
And what causes Slick to end up in a fiery blaze of doom, though? How does that work out?
Well,
He
Killer
drives
jumps in the
that
van.
sexy van right off the cliff.
Yeah, trying to hit the killer, he drives off the cliff and it explodes like it's filled with freaking kerosene.
see, if he only waited 15 years later, he could have learned from Chris Farley. He could have lived by the river.
What? Down by the river in the van. So Slick dies, and then we get Wendy, the bitch who is cock blocking Kim. She goes down.
We get Drew and Kelly before
Oh,
Wendy
okay.
too.
Drew's the one whose head ends up on the pinball machine, right?
Yep.
That's probably the best
Yes.
present. That's probably the best costuming or stuff in the movie. Do you think the best? What do we call it? Prosthetic,
Yeah.
big fake head.
I like what they did. I like what they did with Lou, but Lou wasn't prosthetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
What was it?
That was Lou. That was Lou's actual head poked through a stage.
Oh, sweet! I didn't know that.
yeah. And little fact I stumbled on. Lou had tremendous phobias about doing that scene, being enclosed like that and
Oh,
stuck like that.
yeah.
So Lynch had to hold his hand under the stage the whole time to get him through that scene.
Aww.
But that's a good director, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good director. The man didn't want violence in a horror film. That's a good man.
How badly would you want to screw with him, though? Like, Lynch needed to get the shot, sure, but then you could add 5 more takes and do some mean shit to him.
Right?
Oh, God, I could just imagine the possibilities.
Yeah.
Just
I
Endless.
feel bad for
army
Lou.
yanks down his pants. You could do whatever you wanted. Do whatever you wanted. Oh,
He's trapped in there. It's a trap.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So the killings are good.
Meanwhile, everybody's dying, and Lieutenant McBride is still looking for the Predator guy. Leonard Marsh or whatever it was. Merch.
Not the janitor, by the way. Second
Nope,
child
not the
molester,
janitor,
red
just-
herring.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Sykes.
We get 2 of those.
And it's, I mean, one of
But
my
really,
things with this movie that I don't like, though, is how easy it is to tell that those are not panning out. That it's not them.
Oh,
It just
yeah.
feels very blatant that it's not them.
yeah. Well, if you look closely when Wendy's running from the killer, Sykes is in one of those scenes. You see him silhouetted.
Oh, interesting.
So you know it's not him right there.
Yeah.
They take that one out on their own.
There's like a
I think that's the
20-minute
locker room,
chase
right?
scene with them too. That's the scene you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a long scene.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't really culminate in anything big either. It's just kind of like okie dokie,
It's just there.
chase over.
Yeah. I think of all the deaths in this, Wendy's is sort of the least satisfying, and that's the one that should really be the most satisfying.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she's the ringleader of the accident that kills Robin. She's the leader of the cover-up, and then she grows up to be kind of a douche.
Yeah. Well, they do something with this movie to get into the big spoiler territory now. They do it with this movie, something that kind of can be hit or miss with horror movies. They make the killer sympathetic. Like, so it turns out it's Alex Hammond, Robin's brother, Kim's brother, Leslie Nielsen's son. What's the
Frank
mother's
Drebin
name?
Jr.
Yeah, Frank Drebin Jr. And you're like, oh, well, he's totally pissed off that they manslaughtered, second degree his sister. And
it makes sense.
Yeah, so you figure that out, and he looks. One thing that throws you off his trail though is he looks like the least murdery person ever. He's got like the broccoli hair and all that stuff. He just looks like a douche.
Yeah.
My dad's the principal.
Yeah.
He and Nick are like the two least threatening people in this whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, big time. And we figure out the big reveal after he gets worked over. He's laying in Kim's arms. They unmask him. In the Scooby-Doo moment.
So I was
and
upset.
He tells
again.
them why.
Yeah, he does. That's like why it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm glad you killed all those shitty kids.
Yeah.
Great. This is a good movie.
But they do throw you off when they do a close-up. It looks like the mom. Because if you look at the eyelashes and the eyes, it looked like a woman under the mask. So he was playing with the psychology a little bit of the audience. Whether on purpose or not. It looked like the mom. Because, again, I wanted Leslie Nielsen.
It looked like the mom in the eyes, but really only in the eyes.
Yeah. He had his mother's eyes.
Only eyes.
They're in a jar behind him.
Cheapers,
so I mean that's how it ends. We get that. So the family loses another child.
Yeah.
And are shamed for presumably forever and must leave the town and whatnot, as one must do after a familial murder event. And so yeah, Alex really fucked up. That's the end of Prom Night.
Yeah.
So my question for you guys then is, do you think this cop, McBride, would have figured this out at any point if somebody else hadn't taken Alex out?
No. They wrote him that way. He was
this is the
McBride
precursor.
He was a perma investigator, never a solver.
Yeah. Alex would have finished killing all of them, and McBride would be investigating it for the rest of his career and trying to find Leonard.
Cold case. Sykes is nearby. He's like changing the light bulb above him. I'm gonna get him someday. That
one of these days.
Creepy janitor.
He's the retired cop that comes in during retirement to work cold cases, and this is his obsession.
Exactly.
How did Leonard do this? I need to prove that it was Leonard.
I didn't hate it for sure. I mean, I hate reviewing movies and saying that, but it wasn't great.
No.
It wasn't one of the greats. It really wasn't. But I definitely appreciate it for what it is. I appreciate that it exists, and I appreciate what it caused to come afterward.
Yeah.
Because people built on
I'd
it
say
and made that story better.
It's worth the watch.
Yeah.
If you've never seen it,
Absolutely.
it's worth the watch, especially if you're a slasher fan or a horror fan.
If you're a
you
pervert,
love the
maybe skip
history.
this one. There's boobier movies out there for sure. But this one's, I mean, I would watch it just for Slick. Just to root Slick on.
Yeah.
That's a fun scene.
I want a whole
Slick
Slick
Star.
backstory movie.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get a prequel and it turns out he meets Reggie?
No, Slick can't even shine Reggie's shoes, bro. Reggie's a legend.
He's not that far.
Yeah.
He's not Reggie level.
Reggie's next level.
But listen to this story. He gets all the moves by hanging out with Reggie. Reggie is his mentor.
Oh, okay.
And
But
that's
like the disappointing
takes a road
kind
trip.
that never ever reaches the level of the master. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Except,
wanna
I
sh-
mean,
I want-
we do have proof that Slick scored We
Well,
don't
what if-
have proof that Reggie really did.
What if Slick was actually sleeping with Leslie Nielsen, who had morphed into his girlfriend? And that would be more like Reggie's little story arc.
MO.
Yeah. Just banging dudes dressed as or wearing the skin
Mole
of
Man.
Yeah.
Just
Boy.
pushing back the real chicks.
God. But yeah, that's prom night. It's solid 2.5 out of 20. No, it's good. It's a good watch. Really is a good watch. It's just there's so much content out there. It's like hard for me to recommend something that's sort of average.
It's a 3 to 3.5 out of 5.
There you go. If we're doing if we're using a scoring system we just made up on the spot, that does sound about right though. It does. It's 4.5 shark teeth.
3 to 3.5 chest busters.
I give it 3 skulls. 3 skulls. 3 skulls out of 5.
Are they crystal skulls? Because that matters. That matters.
They're crystal.
There's a vodka
Crystal.
and there's a movie.
Oh,
Both are pretty
Jones.
bad.
Oh, yeah. So 3 crystal skulls, I think, is less than 3 regular skulls.
I'd imagine that's how the ratio goes.
I mean,
that-
given what we know, Crystal Skull ended up looking like.
All right, 3 regular skulls then.
How many red skulls would we do
Out of
though?
5.
Because the red skulls, that's weightier. See, that's my man right there. He
Yeah.
knows.
Ooh,
They even had to write him back into
That's-
the Marvel
yeah.
franchise because he was too good.
I popped for that scene. If no one's ever seen Marvel, those movies, I mean, okay, cool. But there's that one scene, and I think it's in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it wasn't Hugo, but it still hit.
And you need
Red
Hugo
Skull,
Weaving.
one of
We
the-
we could do a whole month on just
Oh, yeah.
Hugo Weaving. Just what he was able to do in V for Vendetta while wearing a goddamn mask is
Oh, yeah.
wild to me with that character. That was brilliant.
And he was a replacement.
That's always the
Which makes it
best way
better.
it goes. I think there's like a chip on
Mhm.
their shoulder, like, oh yeah, you wanted Denzel, you sons of bitches. I got this. Elrond's
Denzel
coming.
In V for Vendetta.
Time's
all
got
right.
nothing on this.
All right, guys, I think it's time for some top fives.
Well, hold on. I have one more question.
Son of a bitch.
Do you guys have any recollection of how much you spent on the prom?
Yeah, a little bit of money. Back then, though, it's that kind of money. Probably around. I borrowed the tux, so it's probably around 500, give or take. Because we did the car, and then we went down to the Jersey
Mhm.
Shore and stuff.
Mhm. So right off the bat, this can't be an expensive prom, right?
No,
It's in a gym.
yeah, that's
it's in the
part of it.
school
No.
gym.
We were
Like, this
bougie with
is-
ours.
This is back in the innocent days of the prom.
Yeah, when it was just the eighth
yeah.
grade dance, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the 8th grade dance,
Canteens.
but you're older and hornier.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
What's in the punch?
But-
What's in
But
the
I
punch?
looked this up. On average, girls spend minimum $900 to $1,500 on the prom now.
I could see that. I could totally see me shelling out that kind
Minimum.
of
It's
the
cash too as
dresses.
a dad. I'm luckily I'm
Oh,
a dad
yeah,
of
the
boys.
dresses, forget it. Around here, that average is probably $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
It was
expensive.
so farcical. I remember we walked in, a separate group of friends that weren't traveling with us. They had their own plans. They had the girls crying because they literally came in to take pictures and they wanted to leave immediately to go to a club and presumably to do drugs and drink instead of hanging out there for dinner and whatnot. I was like, why can't you do both? Why not both? But the girls were like, we spent all this money on these clothes. We're not going to just, yeah. I remember that
Yeah.
vividly.
Sucks.
Crazy.
I
how
didn't go
much
to
ex-
mine.
How expensive that is. I wish I hadn't.
Oh, everything's getting marked up these days. Oh, we're going to get in the weeds when you talk about how money is right now. So top fives, everybody. Top fives. Prom is expensive. Let's go into Brian's top
Prom is
five.
expensive.
So, my top 5 this week, I went with my top 5 Jamie Lee Curtis movies.
Okay.
And I have two mentions. Don't worry, I've seen them all. That's a good thing. 2 honorable mentions. Escape from New York,
Okay.
because she is the on the radio. It's a
Mhm.
small role, but Love the movie. She's in it. And Trading Places is an honorable mention.
How did that not make
her
the
role's
list?
not-
She's the best
role's
hooker
not that
ever. She's the
big.
kindest-hearted prostitute ever in that movie.
That's Dan Aykroyd. That's
she's
Dan
awesome.
Aykroyd.
Dan
and Eddie
Aykroyd
Murphy.
doesn't play
I
a
can't stop
prostitute.
on
You're
that.
lying. You're lying
That's-
now.
In Ghostbusters, he is a prostitute.
You know what? I could definitely follow
In that one
logic.
scene.
I could follow that
It
logic.
was a ghost. But I think you guys will like my top 5. And I'm gonna start it off with her second film role, directed by John Carpenter, written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. It's The Fog.
Fog's a good
Another
anime.
1980 film. Yep, tells the story of a strange glowing fog that sweeps over a small coastal town in Northern California, and stars Adrienne Barbeau and Tom Atkins. It's such a good film.
We need another fog inspired, like Stephen King's The Mist and stuff is definitely fog inspired. We needed more. They did
yeah.
30 Days of Night, which is sort of inspired by the fog as well. That vampire movie. I feel like that the fog, without the fog, you don't get any of these. We need another one.
No,
Yeah.
it's so creepy. It still holds up.
I mean, it's in
Like,
our
I can
DNA,
watch it
man.
and
Not being able to see
Mm-hmm.
what's coming out of it.
Yep.
it's so creepy.
They even do it in Independence Day
I'm
with the
getting
clouds
chills.
preceding the UFOs, so the big reveal
Yeah.
is even more revealier. It's fun.
Yeah.
To where trademark Xenomania revealier. It's ours now.
Revealier.
Yeah.
It's in our encyclopedia.
Our Xenomania.
The
Xenopedia.
The Xenopedia.
Trademark Xenopedia. Just
A
gotta
lot
keep
of
shelling out
romanticism is
350
going
bucks.
into that.
That's already done.
We got to be careful with Xenopedia though, because someone might take that way wrong.
Yeah, good point. Because not pedo, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And-
no.
The Xeno thing too, maybe in our current
No.
climate.
Fair. We're very tolerant of other types of people. We just like the
Yes.
name for xenomorph, which we'll probably be getting into a little bit more down the line.
Oh,
But
Because
speaking
we haven't
about
done
Xeno-
any Ridley Scott, really. We haven't done anything.
No, we're gonna have to crack that egg.
We're crushing through. Once we start that, we're going to have to hit the Predator. We're going to have to do the whole universe. It's going to turn into like a
Yeah.
full 6 months.
yeah.
We did Coscarelli.
Next year
we can
on
do that.
Xenomania.
Yeah. I mean, maybe 27 based on the schedule I saw, but
I mean, we're gonna have a TV series to do too.
yeah, we got a lot of work
Yeah.
to do, boys. We got to quit our jobs.
I'm ready.
Oh, I wouldn't mind doing 2 episodes, 3
Now
episodes
you're
a day.
speaking my language.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? But all right, so we halted you at The Fog because it's such an awesome movie.
Well, number 4 is another awesome movie. It's one of my favorites. My Uncle Joe introduced me to this. Written by John Cleese, directed by Charles Crichton. Stars Jamie Lee Curtis, of course, John Cleese, of course, Kevin Kline, Michael Palin. It's A Fish Called Wanda.
Oh wow,
Yeah, buddy.
It's so hilarious. And if you've never seen it, I'm not going to spoil it, but Michael Palin's character as a hitman is some of the best work in comedy you can ever
not
see.
to argue with you about
'Cause-
that being better than The Fog, but nah, you're right. It could be better. It could be ahead of The Fog. Fish Called Wanda's a
Yeah,
good flick.
it's competitive.
Yeah.
It's so good. And Kevin Kline, it just all you got to speak is French to her. It's okay. It's
Good
great.
stuff right there, actually.
Number 3, that might I might turn some heads. You guys, I don't know how you guys are gonna go with this, but I'm gonna go with it. Halloween 2018 is my number 3. I think.
How do I kick him? How do I kick him out
her-
of the chat?
See, I'm not
she
going
was-
to.
No.
2/3 of that trilogy is great.
Yes, the first 2, as we talk Halloween
It
and
ends
I
Halloween
don't have any
Kills.
beef with it. I was just screwing with you.
Oh, well, she does such a great job that they actually copied a similar premise for one of the Texas Chainsaw remakes. They brought the character of Sally back in the same role
Mm-hmm.
as Jamie
Money-making
Lee Curtis,
genius.
and
Brought him back.
they tried. It didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work. But Jamie
Well,
Lee, she kicks ass in that movie.
Take some names.
I would say Sally's return in Texas Chainsaw isn't so much about Sally's return as the quality of the rest of the script.
What's interesting about
God,
Jamie Lee
I
Curtis,
couldn't even get through it.
she's a scream queen for sure. But she's
Mhm.
also like the heck. She's also like a super amazing actor. Sorry that. So when
You're right.
yeah, they leave the they leave the show on pause after about an hour, it finally turns off and then some random television channel pops on. So I just heard a woman's voice coming from the living room for no reason, and I was like,
It's
I'm
Helen
gonna
Foster.
have to deck a home
It's
intruding
Helen.
lady.
It's Helen
Here
Foster.
comes
And
Helen.
here comes to argue with me about Jamie Lee Curtis. But no, she's one of the best actresses like ever,
Absolutely.
So-
She does.
Oh,
She can do anything, really.
literally.
Like
Yes, she
she
can.
horror, comedy, drama, action. She's done all of it.
And
And
well,
Kind of leads me in. I was gonna
Jinx,
say,
that was
you owe
cool.
him a Coke, sir.
Yeah, I want
Coca-Cola.
not that Coke Zero
original
crap
taste.
either. I want the high fructose corn syrup before they make it illegal.
Is that the peach one?
It's the orange one.
I'm
was
drinking
looking at
Polar
it.
Seltzer.
It was
Polar
the
Seltzer,
peach.
official sponsor of the Xenomania podcast. Not really. Don't
Bottles
sue
of
us.
water.
Don't sue us. Although I've been
No
buying your
code
seltzer
red.
forever, I'd be really upset with you if you sued me.
Let's speak it into existence.
Yeah, for real.
Polar Seltzer. Yes, please.
Yeah, get them on
Please,
board. All right, let's hear number 2.
But number 2, you mentioned action, and that's a good segue. And we've talked about it earlier. It's True Lies.
I can't believe you have True Lies.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad it's on the list, but I can't believe you put True Lies ahead of The Fog and A Fish Called Wanda. True Lies is a great
It's number
movie, but
2,
it's
it's
like
so good.
it's like a goofy action movie, like The Eraser.
I just think of Bill Paxton. Come on now. Bill
that's
Paxton.
True Lies. True Lies is kind
so
of an
good.
important one too, because it's sort of a reinvigoration for Arnold too.
Yeah, they both had a
He
kind
was
of a
kinda-
bump up.
He was kind of slumping before that too, like Last Action Hero and stuff like
I
that.
loved. See, you know what sucks about
love
Last
that
Action
movie.
Hero? That
Yeah,
movie's one of
I
my
do love that
favorites
stuff.
of all time. With him at
Yeah,
least.
Yeah, it's great, but it
Just for the
bombed.
ticket.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it did. You didn't play the game? This on Super Nintendo?
Jingle All the Way bombed too, by the way. I think for what it was, it
put
didn't
the cookie
bomb.
down
but-
now.
Yeah. But yeah, he had a bunch
that
of
movie, too.
duds. But all right, True Lies. We're joking about the scene where he has like the creepy Hispanic guy's voice on the recording. He's like, "Dance for me," and he's like tricking his wife into stripping.
Slower.
It sounds worse.
Slower.
If you haven't seen the movie, it sounds worse than it is.
Yeah,
But Tom Arnold is in that
Oh, yeah.
movie. We were talking about him, and he's one of the best one-liners of all time. I probably actually can't say it on YouTube. It's so bad, but it's funny. It's a funny line.
I wanna,
Right in the
I wanna be
comments.
like, say it. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Write the line you think Tom Arnold says, and we'll give you a like back if you get it right.
What's the line that Tom Arnold says that would get us demonetized is the correct one. And this will definitely become a short, so you'll be able to comment on the regular video or the short. Have fun, everybody. Can't get demonetized for what you say.
Oh, 100% not.
now
Go wild.
you know what? How I'll go a step further. You won't just get a like. We'll name check you.
There you go. That'll work out.
There we go.
But yeah. All right. So if that's number 2, then what's number 1?
That's my favorite horror movie of all time. Halloween.
Can't argue
on.
that. Can't
But
argue that in the goat
You make.
spot.
I was looking at this film. I was like, this is gonna be number 1. And I remember the day we were all in a circle and we were talking about it, and you goaded me by saying that Jason was better than Michael Myers, and I just kept thinking about that right now. Just saying. Yeah, you remember. It's
You
like,
talking to John or me?
got the gears turning. I'm talking to you. You did that one. John
I
was there
must
for
have
that
been, I
one.
must have been screwing with you because there's no way I believe that. I definitely don't
Oh,
believe
100%
that.
you were screwing with me.
Yeah,
You
there's
knew
no
it was going to
way.
start me.
There's no way I believe
It's
that.
just such a.
I actually can say that's demonstratively false, but I know I would have said that to piss
No,
you
you were-
off.
You're messing with me. That's why I was thinking about
Yeah,
it.
we were probably
but
playing
it's
the
a good
horror
story to bring
trivia
up.
in the cafeteria that day. That was probably when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
that's funny.
But
I'm so sorry.
It's such a good film. Nah, I brought it up because it's a funny story to me. I liked it. I was thinking about it when I put it at number one, but it's a great film. I love it. It's not really the start of the slasher genre because it Texas Chainsaw, Black Christmas, but
Mhm.
it helped put it up in the spotlight because it was the hottest
It-
movie for a good while.
Yeah, it's sort of the popularization of the slasher.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes.
Yeah, so
There
those
we
other
go.
ones were very much so cult movies at the time, especially.
Mhm. For a long time, that was the highest grossing indie movie.
Yep.
Halloween 1 was
Yeah,
indie?
because he,
I guess that
Yeah.
makes
Yes, it
sense.
was.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think what was the budget? 300,000
They
to
give-
325,000.
It wasn't a
It
lot.
wasn't bad.
Think about how much money that one movie, if you just took away all the other ones, how much money Halloween has just made since. And wow, 350,000.
I believe he used the money, and I might be wrong, but I think he used the money from Assault on Precinct 13 to develop this.
Yeah, probably.
That's cool.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen
That's a
Assault
great
on
movie,
Precinct
too.
13, oh my God.
We got a lot of nods
Definitely,
tonight. I'm loving
definitely.
it.
Yeah, there's with the
Yeah.
amount of freaking movies we've mentioned tonight is out of control. All right, it's also we're getting into Kearns nappy time coming, so let's get John's top 5.
All right.
Oh, I can't
I
wait
think
for
Ryan
this.
and I originally had a similar concept for this.
We
So
did.
I went with top 5 Leslie Nielsen horror adjacent roles.
Fantastic. Starting with Dracula
So
Dead
my
and
number
Loving It.
5.
Yes.
You nailed it. That's number 5.
No
Dracula
way.
Dead and Loving It.
Yes.
Hell yes. What do I
The
win?
Mel Brooks vampire spoof. You win
So good.
4 red skulls.
Okay, I'll take 4 red skulls.
Yes.
Yeah, the
So
Mel Brooks
good.
vampire spoof as Dracula. And like it's there's so many funny gags in Dracula Dead and Loving It. It's so, like just like looking back through it, like location names like Carfax Abbey.
There's so many stupid. The bat scene is my favorite in the movie, though, and it's the dumbest laugh in the whole movie, probably too.
Yeah.
Shit. He's just trying to get out of the way.
The Daymare.
Oh,
The Daymare gets
Yep.
me all the time.
Leslie Nielsen plus Mel
Aw,
Brooks
yeah.
equals glory. That's all you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
I think that's getting rewatched this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna make you happy. What a great mention.
It's a good lead. It.
All right, let's see if you can guess number 4. You can't.
Wrongfully
Don't even
accused.
It's
try.
done, yeah.
Nope. Wrongfully accused isn't horror, Jason. But
Fair.
We're going full horror for number 4. Day of the Animals.
Okay.
When did that come
It's
out?
exactly what it sounds like. 77-ish.
Oh, so not terribly long before Prom Night.
I feel like
So-
he's in a safari hat.
He's a lot worse. So in Day of the Animals, he plays Paul Jensen. So it's a group of hikers are attacked by all the animals once they climb above 5,000 feet. Every animal, like something has happened
They
to
go
the animals,
crazy.
and they just want to kill people.
Nice.
Including they say the depletion of the ozone layer has caused this. The animals are crazy because the ozone layer. So one scene he's on guard duty and he falls asleep and a mountain lion attacks.
Mm.
And then he's definitely the bad guy in this one. He
Okay.
separates the
interesting.
group with his, ego trip and whatever. And then he's off with the group that he took and he decides, "Oh, I'm going to rape this woman." Leslie Nielsen rape scene. Only to be killed by a grizzly while he's raping.
Jesus.
Oh. Lieutenant Frank Drebin.
Yeah. The funny guy.
Pretty wild.
Did he have a fart machine while he was? Let me stop.
No, there are laughs to be had in this movie because of some of the unintentional stuff, and it's not a good movie, so to speak, but It's kind of Night of the Lepus.
Okay, that's kind of what I
Okay.
figured.
It's kind of that level.
It's a man in a grizzly costume killing him. Yes. Uh,
Yeah. So we'll roll to number 3 and get away from the grossness of 4. Number 3 is Scary Movie 3 and 4.
Yeah. Okay.
As the
President.
president of the United States.
Perfect casting,
mean,
by the way.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I would have voted for him.
Oh God, in
Hard to
100%.
eat from your finger.
heartbeat.
So yeah, you get him taking on aliens to, the grudge-like creature in the 4th one, and he's just got so much funny in those 2 movies.
Leslie Nielsen. He walked
Yes.
around and did the late night shows with the fart squeezer
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
stuff like
that-
that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite clips. Seeing
Yeah,
him do that.
He's just Leslie Nielsen, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that old man funny energy. It's grandpa funny for us at our age
Mhm.
now, and I miss it because it's not really around anymore.
Yeah.
We don't get that anymore.
No,
Anthony Hopkins has a bit of
No.
that magic, but he doesn't use it for funny. You
No,
know?
No.
no.
No. He's a serious
And
grandpa.
Listen, I'll go a little soapboxy here. A lot of people say it's cancel culture. I don't think it is. You can still make that movie. It's just that nobody makes it and nobody tries. to
Yeah.
make it.
And once they start once they open those floodgates again, I think you're right, John. I think people are gonna flock to it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking
I think-
blazing saddles for everything either. You know?
Yeah, but if you look at the last of those like ridiculous spoof movies that they did, superhero movie, disaster movie, they stunk.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what killed that type of humor. It's not cancel culture. It's the fact that they lost the ability to be creative doing it.
Yeah, fair. To try to not offend anybody while doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
People also have to just remember to
Yeah.
laugh. Laugh at yourself, laugh at the
Mhm.
circumstances. Don't necessarily laugh at the horrific things, but every now and then it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And enjoy
Yeah.
yourself. These movies are funny.
You can do some of that edgy stuff if it's funny.
Agreed.
And
Soapbox moment.
that's sort of the problem. Yeah,
Well
that's sort of
received.
the
No, that-
problem with this whole situation. It's not that you're going to get canceled, because I
Mhm.
think we've had this conversation. How many people have actually really been canceled? Spacey.
Well, we talked
Yeah,
about like that's a
Spacey.
good one to cancel.
Yeah.
He did some bad things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
And
mean,
then he
he
defended it.
deserves it.
Yeah, then he
He
doubled
deserved
down
it.
on those things.
But he's the only one that cancel culture got who stayed canceled.
Yeah, the rest of them kind of
Yeah.
scrolled back. Cosby's not in
Mhm.
jail anymore. Cover
Yeah.
your drinks, kids. Oh,
And you're putting
yeah,
pops.
you're putting pops, and watch out for
Yeah.
them Kodak cameras. He might be at the window.
Yep. All right.
Back
So
to the
I'm gonna
list.
climb off my soapbox to get to number 2, which is probably more ridiculous than anything else on this list. And my number 2 is Repossessed.
Oh, I know Repossessed.
You said repossessed?
Repossessed?
Oh yes. He plays the
Yes,
priest.
Just a second.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a
So
lesser known
There
one.
goes a memory.
Repossessed. Repossessed, if you've never seen it, is a straight on spoof of The Exorcist, right down to Linda Blair.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Linda Blair's in it. Yep.
it's
Yep,
funny
Yep.
as hell.
So Leslie Nielsen is Father May-I, and he's already exorcised Nancy Linda Blair once when she was a child, but when she grows up, Satan is back and he has to exorcise her again, and it's
Damn it, Satan.
absolute insanity. It's I will put that up with anything he was in for funny.
It's a good movie.
It's every time.
That's a good one. So what beats Repossessed? What's number
I'm
one?
actually curious now.
You guys don't know?
It's not Prom
Number
Night.
1. It's a George A. Romero movie.
I had no idea these two
It's
worlds
Creep
intersected.
Show.
Oh, Creep Show.
Oh,
That's
he
a
is
good
in Creep
episode.
Show.
Yeah, where he's
Ted
he's
Danson.
killing Ted Danson for cheating on
Yep.
him, for screwing around with
Yep.
his wife. I watched that as a little
Vengeful
kid.
husband Richard Vickers.
Diggs puts him there, and then you find out the wife's already been drowned. He already
Yep.
dealt with
Yep.
her before the other guy woke up. That's a good scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the third time Creep Show has been mentioned, by the way.
I mean, rightfully so. It holds up.
And a lot more because that has to be a future episode.
Oh yeah, we're definitely
Oh
gonna do
God,
Creep Show.
yes.
I just want to do like this,
Both of them.
the Stephen King short story adjacent. Maybe I could read it. Ooh, all three of them? Could
There's
we
3
even
Creep
handle it?
shows.
Could we
Plus
handle it?
multi-seasons of a TV show.
Yeah.
The TV show is good. The TV show.
The
is
TV
good.
show is when it's
The first
good.
season's good.
Yeah, when it misses.
When the TV show is good, it's really good. When it misses, it's bad.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So those are, I mean, I didn't realize Leslie Nielsen went into the horror or horror adjacent as much as even 5 times, but that's awesome. And guys, that's our
That-
episode
That
on
is good.
Prom Night.
Yeah. Prom Night, guys, check it out.
Check it out if you haven't already. The remake's out there. It stinks up the whole screen too, but
Oh.
Don't watch the remake.
don't watch
That
the
might
remake.
be
The
one of the
original's
wo-
better.
That might be one of the worst remakes.
Yeah, but yeah, that's Xenomania episode
Yes.
because I don't know when this one's coming out, but
And
probably
And
22.
get ready. Next episode, 28 days later.
Oh, that's right. That one
28
made
days
me
later,
leave with the
28
lights on.
weeks later.
They're
first
not
one.
zombies.
They're not. They're
They're
rage.
not
They're rage
zombies.
monsters.
They're not zombies.
They're me.
Get
in rush hour
yourselves
traffic.
caught up in time for 28 years later.
Yeah, buddy.
Mhm.
Yeah. What's the other one? 28 weeks later is the second.
28 weeks.
One of the best
Yeah.
opening
Yep,
sequences
28
of all
weeks.
time, and a real eye opener for my wife to realize where she stands in the pecking order. You know, if you've seen it. All right, everybody, take it easy.
Have a good one.
See ya.
Be very